Good morning. Guys, I just woke up with 100,000 followers on Facebook, which is pretty freaking awesome. So I just want to come on here and make a YouTube video for you guys and just show my appreciation. Got my breakfast. We got eggs. We got some frozen pineapple, frozen strawberry, 4 eggs, salt and pepper. I got my shot of espresso here. Bunch of water. Just about what I've learned from going to 0 to 100K followers on Facebook and also all of my other platforms. A lot of my platforms, I've gained a big following because of my nutrition, because of my recipe post, and I just want to go over like what I've learned and like as I'm going over what I've learned when it comes to helping people lose fat with their nutrition. And also I'm going to be sharing some of my top 5 or top 10 recipes in this video. First thing I've learned, guys, from my experience is like it should be easy to make, should be easy to cook. If it's not easy, people won't do it. Like a lot of these recipe people or you see the cooks online, they're making these elaborate dishes that are just like all these ingredients and it's like all this prep time and you gotta use a bunch of knives and fancy material. Like, guys, I'm not a chef. I actually did work at the Marriott as a chef for about 3 years, a long time ago. But like, it's a Marriott, it's a hotel, it's not super fancy. The most elaborate thing we would make is a steak, which can be elaborate, but beside the point, guys. One of the big things that I've learned as a nutritionist online is that people want convenience. People want easy. People aren't 5-star chefs. People like, I want easy too. I don't want to spend hours in the kitchen. Like, so that's a big, massive thing that I've learned when I come to like posting recipes and knowing what people like is that it should be easy to make. It shouldn't take hours to make. It shouldn't take hours to prep. It should be relatively not dozens of ingredients, and it should be quick, high protein. Let's start with some of my favorite breakfast recipes and the ones that I've gotten good feedback. These are steak and sweet potato cupcakes, or they're muffins. Guys, if you have like a cupcake tray, you don't only have to make dessert recipes with those. These are one of my favorite go-to recipes because it's cool, it's a little convenient. Like you have like a steak egg cupcake, you just take a few with you on the go. This recipe makes 12 serving. Oh, this recipe actually makes 4 servings, it makes 12 cupcakes. Each serving is 485 calories with 42 grams of protein. That's great. So guys, I want to quickly run through the recipe. It's like you want to first preheat the oven 375 degrees, get a cupcake tray, spray it down. The first thing you actually, well, after that, you want to cook the steak up. I wouldn't cook the steak all the way through or it's going to be like super dry and chewy. But you do want to like cook the steak and because it's not going to fully cook if you just throw it in with the eggs and the sweet potato. Add the steak, cook for 4 to 5 minutes with the steak, and each side, and depending on how you like it, I like my steak a little red, so I might cook it only 3 to 4 minutes each side. Okay, so now once the steak is cooked, you want to add the egg, steak, and sweet potato, salt, pepper to a bowl, stir, combine, and then divide into each muffin cup. Bake in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes or until they rise and start to brown on the top. These are delicious, guys. The combination with eggs, steak, and sweet potato, you're getting the healthy fats, high protein, some good carbohydrates in the morning. You can refrigerate these up to 4 to 5 days, and one serving equals three muffins, which is 480 calories and 42 grams of protein. As I'm eating breakfast, we're talking about breakfast. So I wanted to do 2 breakfast recipes because this is probably one of my most liked recipes for my clients is the egg white omelet with cottage cheese. Now hear me out. This might sound a little weird. If you're a texture person, you might not like this because it's kind of like creamy in the middle. It's like an egg white omelet frittata, and then inside there's cottage cheese. So we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 cup of egg whites, 1 cup of cottage cheese, low-fat cottage cheese, and then 2 tablespoons of chives. Okay, so what you guys are gonna do is heat butter in a large skillet, non-stick pan over medium heat, add the egg whites, and cook until almost set. Then place the cottage cheese down in the middle of the egg whites, sprinkle over the chives over the top, and then fold it over. It's very simple, guys. You're gonna see like, oh wow, this is really easy. But what's cool about this recipe is it makes it taste, the texture is really good and it's super high protein, guys. This recipe is 360 calories with 50 grams of protein. Okay, I'm gonna get into the next thing I've learned from going from 0 to 100K followers. is that people want high protein. You know, that's kind of like a buzzword. Oh, high protein, high protein. But my recipes are actually high protein. Like they want real high protein that also tastes good. So people struggle to hit their protein goal. A lot of my clients that work with me, that's one of their big struggles is they struggle to consistently hit their protein goal. But once I help them with some easy to make high protein recipes, it really becomes much easier. All right, we're getting into lunches, guys. High protein, easy to make, yummy lunches. One of my favorites, personal favorites, is my chicken enchilada wraps. Okay, so it's 10 ounces of chicken breast. It's a cup of low-fat cream cheese, actually, sorry, 1/3 cup of low-fat cream cheese, half a cup of salsa, 4 low-carb tortillas, and 4 ounces of reduced fat cheese. This makes 4 servings. Each serving is 316 calories with 37 grams of protein. Excuse me, I'm still having breakfast here. Might let my eggs get cold. All right. Guys, these are actually bomb. So I get 10 ounces of chicken. I want to show you this device. This is the chicken shredder. I recommend this to all my clients. So you just throw a whole cooked chicken breast in here and you just grind it up like a fat nug. You know, we don't do that anymore. You just grind it up, shred it up. Super convenient device. So this is what I use for the chicken enchiladas. Because what I actually do, or what you could also do instead of using chicken breast, is going to increase the calories and fat ratio a little bit, but just using a rotisserie chicken to make these too. Like just get one of those rotisserie chickens at the store. Super easy. Just grind that up. It's already cooked. It might increase the calories by an extra 50 to 150 depending on how fatty the chicken is, but the protein will stay relatively the same, so it's not that big of a deal. But in a large bowl, combine the shredded chicken with the low-fat cream cheese and salsa and mix well. Lay the tortilla flat and then spread the chicken in the middle. You want to top with cheddar cheese. I like to use reduced fat cheddar cheese just to keep the calories lower, protein higher. And guys, this is another thing that you should always try to figure out how to keep the calories lower and the protein higher. Like that's really the key to fat loss. I'm gonna get into one more lunch recipe and also another lesson that I learned. If you guys ever decide to work with me, we learn a lot about calorie density and high volume eating. Like I always preach high volume eating. It's not about eating less, it's about we can actually eat more different foods to trick our stomach into thinking that we're eating more when we're not, to make calorie deficit easier. And we all know we need to be in a calorie deficit to lose fat, but I kind of get pissed off. Everyone's like, calorie deficit, calorie deficit, calorie deficit. Like, okay, we get it, calorie deficit. Like, that's like saying you have to breathe to get oxygen. Like, we have to be in a calorie deficit to lose fat. But it kind of like, when someone's like learning about fat loss, it's like, it kind of like pisses me off when, as a nutritionist, like people don't really understand the concept of calorie deficit. But I'm not really going to get into that in this video. But understanding calorie density and knowing, I'm going to put up a little chart right here. It's just like, you know, olive oil, you know, oils compared to vegetables, it's like, you know, a little bit of oil can be like a ton of calories, a ton, like a ridiculous amount. And a lot of vegetables can be a very little bit of calories. Like I think it's like, I don't know what the exact measurement is, but I think it's like a pound of olive oil is like 5,000 calories, and a pound of broccoli is like 100 calories. So if you just, can you even wrap your head around that? A pound of olive oil, 5,000 calories, and a pound of broccoli is 100 calories. The thing is, a pound of olive oil, you know, that would be pretty difficult to eat. Would be very difficult to eat a pound of broccoli too. Both difficult. But see, when it comes to calorie density, you don't eat that in isolation. Calories, it's a compounding thing. Okay, so you eat a little bit of oil here, a little bit of oil there, and week after week, month after month, you've accumulated all these calories from just adding a little bit of oil, a little bit of nuts, a little bit of junk food. That calorie density is increasing over time. But if we start to swap out, you know, the more calorie dense foods for the more low calorie dense foods, that compound effect will continue as well. So if you just eat more fruits and vegetables throughout the day, throughout the week, the month, you're going to be eating more low calorie dense food, and it's going to keep you fuller for longer. It's going to make fat loss so much easier. I can make a whole video about this, but I want to get into another recipe that's a very high volume recipe. I have a few of my clients that eat this recipe religiously. It's my Asian turkey bowl. So where is it here? Yeah, Asian style turkey bowl. So this makes 6 servings. Each serving is 480 calories with 49 grams of protein. Guys, that's great macros. So this is a lot of food. We're doing 3 pounds of extra lean ground turkey. And if you guys want to make it a little bit lower in protein, you can do down to 2 pounds. But we're doing 3 pounds of extra lean ground turkey is what the recipe is. We're doing those matchstick carrots, so sliced little carrots, red onions, red bell peppers, yellow bell peppers, half a cup of jasmine rice, soy sauce, and plain Greek yogurt. Trust me on that. The plain Greek yogurt is going to make it creamier, more yummy, and higher protein. I like throwing in plain Greek yogurt with a lot of my recipes that I do, like these bowl recipes, just because it makes a higher protein and just the texture better. Cook the extra lean ground turkey with the eggs, really just one egg, because the extra lean ground turkey is super dry, super lean. If you just add a little bit of fat from that egg, just a little bit, just one egg will do it. It'll help it be more, the texture be more juicier and less dry. Okay, so then you want to cut up the veggies, heat a pan. We cook the veggies separately, cook the protein separately, and we cook the rice separately. Once both meat, veggies are fully cooked, we add it to a big bowl with the rice, with also 3/4 cup of plain Greek yogurt and more spices, soy sauce, maybe a little salt and pepper. Once everything is fully mixed, I get 1 cup measurement. Guys, I've never weighed my foods. I've never had any of my clients weigh their foods, and I've helped people lose hundreds and hundreds of pounds. You don't actually need to weigh your foods. You just have to understand calorie density, start to prep more low-calorie dense foods, higher protein meals, and just make it easier on yourself. It's very easy to lose fat without weighing everything you eat. But you do have to track your intake somehow. But I just don't think you actually have to weigh your food unless you're like a bodybuilder. But once everything is fully mixed, guys, get 1 cup measurement into 6 meal prep containers. So we're going to do 1 cup, one of those cup measurements, and we're going to do 2 cups each meal prep container. This makes 6 servings, okay? And then when you are ready to eat it, you keep it in the fridge, and when you're ready to eat it, you can microwave it for 2 to 3 minutes. All right, we're going to get into some more recipes and some more lessons I learned. I had to grab another shot of espresso, guys. I'm getting hype. I love the smell of that. All right. So lesson number 4 is you want to meet people where they're at. Like, I've been on my nutrition I've been a licensed nutritionist for about a decade, and I've been, incorporating nutrition for a while, and a lot of people are new to this, so you have to meet them where they're at and find recipes that they can actually resonate with or relate to, or they actually look forward to, it's kind of hard to articulate this point, but people don't need perfection. They need realistic solutions, And I'm really just like you guys. I don't like eating bland chicken. I'm not a bodybuilder eating chicken, broccoli, and rice all day. No. So I show realistic, delicious meals that you're going to personally love. So let's get into one of my favorites. My mom made this recipe once, and I was like, I want to manipulate this a little bit, make it a little lower calorie, higher protein. These are delicious. These are meal prep, the sweet potato black bean burritos. So if you're a vegetarian or even vegan, this is going to be a good option for you. This has a little bit more ingredients than some of the recipes, but they're still super easy to make, and this makes 10 servings. This is like a big thing. This is like a big meal prep. So it's going to be 6 sweet potatoes, peeled and sliced, 2 yellow onions, 4 garlic cloves, 4 cups of black beans from the can, and 1 cup frozen corn, 1 green bell pepper diced, 1 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, sea salt, and 10 low-carb mission tortillas. Guys, this makes 10 servings. Each serving is 260 calories with 15 grams of protein. Not the best, but still really good. It's very low calorie, high protein. I consider those macros still high protein. So you want to bring a pot to water to a boil, place the sweet potatoes in a steamer over boiling water and cover, let steam for 7 minutes or until the tender mashed, mashed potatoes, Meanwhile, heat an oil medium skillet and saute onions, garlic until soft. In a large bowl, black beans mashed with potato masher. Mix the sauteed onions and garlic and bell pepper, water, mustard, cumin, thoroughly combine, season with salt if needed. So you mix all the seasonings with the black beans. You mash the black beans just like the sweet potatoes get mashed. It's going to help the texture and consistency of these burritos. You want to divide the mashed sweet potatoes and the mashed black bean mixture evenly between the tortillas and fold into burritos. And then you can immediately Heat the burritos in the oven for 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes or until warm. And you guys could, if you guys want to make this a little bit higher protein, you could add a little bit of cheese. And also what I like to do with these is I use plain Greek yogurt as like a sour cream. So when I'm eating these, I throw some plain Greek yogurt on top. You guys won't even notice a difference between plain Greek yogurt and sour cream when you're eating like a Mexican style dish. So these are actually very delicious. I love these a lot just because how good they taste. And now this is probably one of my most elaborate meals. I know I kind of list that off. Like if this doesn't sound elaborate for you, then you're going to love my cookbook. They're all simple, easy to make meals. But I just feel like the sweet potato burritos, my mouth is watering thinking about them. These are just a bomb ass recipe. All right, we did a bunch of meals. We did a few lunches, a dinner, some breakfast. I wanted to get into some smoothies and some desserts. One of my favorite smoothies is the raspberry zinger smoothie. So we're gonna do. This is gonna scare some of you guys. We're gonna do a cup of frozen cauliflower, a cup of frozen raspberries, 1 lemon squeezed or juiced, 1/4 cup vanilla protein powder, and about a 1/10 cup of some unsweetened almond milk. The frozen cauliflower adds a great texture to smoothies. I love it. Once I discovered this, because cauliflower is super low calorie, high volume, and when it's frozen and you blend it, the texture is on point. So this is super easy to make. This is only 250 calories with 25 grams of protein. I love smoothies. Sometimes when I'm getting ready to cut, I do a lot of smoothies. So the raspberry zinger smoothie, one of my favorites. And before I get into my last lesson, I want to share one more dessert recipe. Guys, this is one of my favorite dessert recipes, chocolate coconut cheesecake mousse. I know it's a mouthful, but it's super easy to make. So we're gonna get one of those Premier protein shakes, or you could use Fairlife, whatever, a chocolate pre-made protein shake, okay? And we're gonna get, one of those Jello, sugar-free Jello packets. What you're gonna do, you probably should use the fudge, or you could use the cheesecake factory. Oh, this is the cheesecake, yeah. Whatever flavors you like. It doesn't have to be, if you want to do straight chocolate, you want to do vanilla. I find that this one was good because it's chocolate with the cheesecake Jello mix. So I did a chocolate protein shake with a sugar-free cheesecake flavor Jello mix. You put it into a bowl and then you whisk it. You're gonna have to whisk it for like 5 to 10 minutes, unless you have one of those mechanical blender things, those mechanical mixers. You want to mix it until it gets very thick, until you can turn the bowl over and nothing comes out. Once that happens, you're going to get 2 graham crackers, sprinkle it on top, and then you get about 1/4 cup of unsweetened coconut flakes on top, and then maybe some unsweetened or dark chocolate chips on top. That's it. That's it. This recipe, you don't have to do any cooking or prepping. After you mix it all together, you could throw it in the refrigerator for like 30 minutes because it is kind of better chilled. But this whole recipe is 320 calories with 31 grams of protein. And this recipe blew up on my social media, got hundreds and thousands of views. But I eat this a lot when I'm cutting because it's so much. It's a lot of volume. When you put that protein shake in there with the Jello-free mix, it expands. And then when it's thick, then you add the graham crackers, the chocolate chips, the unsweetened coconut. The texture is on point and it tastes amazing. A lot of things with these high protein recipes is that the texture's off. Not with this one. Not with this one. So I want to get into the last lesson I learned is that you gotta be yourself, I feel like the reason why my page has grown the way it is because I'm not fake, I'm really authentically me. I try my best, and authenticity is like a skill. Like when I first started on social media, it was hard for me to be authentic. It was hard for me to be myself. I didn't even sometimes know if I was being myself or even how to articulate that. But just the more that I was just like, I don't care what people think. I just want to help people. I just want to show people that they can lose fat, they can make it easy, they can make it yummy. And I want to show people what I'm doing, what I'm helping my clients with. So like the biggest lesson that I learned really was just to be yourself. I thought I could make a YouTube just breaking shit down. And I just woke up and quickly made this. So sorry if I'm like all over the place. I'm not super organized right now, but I hope you got value from this video. And guys, I wanted to quickly talk about my cookbook. If you like some of my recipes, if this is something that you're like, oh, I could see myself making some of these. They're easy, high protein, they taste good, there's limited ingredients, like all that stuff. I normally sell my cookbook for $60 for for this week, maybe next few weeks or so, I'm dropping the price for 20 bucks just to show my appreciation for getting 100,000 followers. I just think it's freaking awesome. So I'm going to be posting the link to my cookbook underneath this video in the description. It's also in the YouTube bio. It's also in my Facebook bio. Over 300 recipes. I'm talking breakfast, lunch, dinners, snacks, desserts. Over 300 recipes that help you burn fat, help you build muscle, help you, and while eating foods that actually taste good, that aren't hard to make. So guys, I am an online coach. I help my clients with their nutrition, with their fitness, with their mindset. And you know, summer's coming, so I'm gonna just offer my coaching a little bit, guys. If you want the one-on-one game plan, the one-on-one accountability, you want custom meal plans, custom workouts, high-level accountability to actually help you get consistent and reach your goals, whether it's fat loss, building muscle, you could shoot me a message on Instagram at coach_Albert and we can have a conversation. Or if you're ready, you can schedule a call with me. I can put that in the description too. It's also, you can schedule a call in my bio on my YouTube. And we'll have a conversation about your goals. We'll see if it's a good fit for us to work with each other. And I'd love to connect with you guys. But again, I'm Mr. Broken Record. I just wanted to say I appreciate you guys. 100K. Freaking awesome. I woke up with 100K. I was like, holy shit. I should probably just make a YouTube video and just give as much value as I can just to show my appreciation. Drop my cookbook $20 in price and just see how I can help. Guys, let me know what type of content you want to see more of. And yeah. I'm just, this is kind of surreal. I never thought I would have this many followers, especially like on Facebook. This is kind of crazy. So I'm going to keep making the content that you guys like, that you guys resonate with. And yeah, I hope you got value from this video. And again, buy my cookbook, hire me for coaching, and I'll see you in the next video.